Since the first satellites were launched more than 60 years ago, the cost of them has come down, but they are still, let's face it, pretty pricey. Well, now a team of British engineers has come up with a cheaper alternative, an uncrewed solar-powered aircraft that can fly up to the stratosphere, hover up there for a few months and then return to Earth intact. The PHASA 35 is powered by the sun and sits between 50,000 and 70,000 feet above land, more than twice that of a commercial flight, but 30,000 feet lower than the satellites we normally use. And this new technology has new military and commercial possibilities, such as disaster relief and border control, for a fraction of the price.
3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
From communications to weather forecasting and even spying, we rely heavily on satellites launched, more often than not, by Elon Musk's SpaceX.
Stage separation confirmed.
What if we could engineer a cheaper solution closer to home? Inside this hangar in Hampshire is a UK project trying to win the race to the stratosphere, called PHASA 35.
The whole thing is covered in solar panels, and the wingspan is absolutely enormous, spreading 35 metres. That's about the same as a Boeing 737. Yet this aircraft weighs just 150 kilograms, the same amount as a motorbike.
Power to weight ratio is everything.
Every gram counts to make this thing as light as it needs to be to fly in the stratosphere, if you want to pick it up. So this is a 4.5 metre wing section that effectively weighs 3.5 kilos.
That's incredible.
Solar power batteries can keep PHASA in the air for 6 months at a time. From 66,000 feet up in the stratosphere, the hope is equipment on board can do most things satellites can at a fraction of the price.
So if you compare it to a satellite that stays up for 7 years, this aircraft can be brought down every 6 months. It can be replaced with the most up-to-date kit, and you need far fewer of them to do the same effect.
Coping with the conditions twice as high as commercial planes fly requires extensive testing.
So because the stratosphere is more similar to on Mars, as you would expect to see on Earth, the thermal vacuum chamber allows us to replicate the expected environment that we're going to see. So for us, this means temperatures as low as minus 93 degrees.
In reality, the biggest challenge has been getting to the stratosphere in the first place. PHASA only flies 20 miles per hour.
Thrust levers here, this is your control stick, and you've also got rudder pedals under the table there.
Inside a simulator, pilot Jamie explained how the 10-hour ascent is the most hazardous.
So we expect the weather around 35,000 feet. That's where the kind of strongest winds are. Complete opposite of Top Gun. We try and keep this aircraft as stable as possible throughout the flight.
There are 11,000 satellites orbiting our planet, but not a single plane in the stratosphere. Getting there first is a global race, which BAE Systems hope the UK can win. Martin Stew, News at 10, Hampshire.